Arsenal lose to Liverpool. And it seems like everybody has lost their mind. Look, in a perfect world, of course, Arsenal would have won that game. But let's not pretend there's not positives to take from this. Is there conversations we need to have around Mikel Arteta and this Arsenal team? Yes, I will hold my hands up and I will have those conversations. But let's not pretend there's not things we can take from that game that I'm looking at and thinking, oh my God, this is massive. There's moments of that game that proved that there has been a massive shift in this Arsenal team. There are positives, like I said, going forward that will massively help this Arsenal team, and I want to speak about it. Before we do though, you know the drill. My name is Jed, and if you like this daily Arsenal content, hit like and subscribe and put the bell notification on so you never miss a video. So first of all, Arsenal-Liverpool, let me know your thoughts on that game. How do you think Arsenal played? And what are your thoughts now on Arsenal after losing to their title rivals, Liverpool? I will say, look, the overwhelming feeling or, I don't know, feedback I'm getting from people is they're so disappointed. They want this manager out. And I'm thinking, what is going on? Like, there are moments of that game where you can levy fair criticism at Arsenal and probably Arteta and say, why are we not taking more risks? There's moments in that game where we could have been more direct. The pass was on. Gyökeres was making the runs. The wingers at times maybe were making the runs, but we didn't seem to want to play the risky pass, the pass that would really penetrate through that Liverpool team. That is a valid question. It seemed to me like we was more likely to take risks passing in our own box than we was to make that final pass. And that's something that I think is fair. Why is that happening? Why are we not taking more risks in these forward areas? Another complaint, people are saying about the lineup. I understand this. People are saying, look, we had 4 centre-backs and 3 CDMs. Mikel Marino hasn't been a CDM. He's been playing as a striker and a number 8. Again, but it probably is the more defensive option. If this game was played in about a month's time, I think Eze would have played. I think Eze would have started. If Odegaard was 100% fit, then he would have started. And it's as simple as that for me. You've got a new signing come in. He's been here, less than a week? A week? You can't just throw him in the title-deciding game against Liverpool away at Anfield in his very first game. Some people might say, and I actually would have. I said in my video before the game, I would have played Eze. But Arteta probably has made the sensible decision. Now, there are conversations about players that were on the pitch that didn't perform. I hate calling players out, but I'm looking at that Martinelli performance, and this is a guy that has frustrated. We've had conversations about Martinelli, and we are all pretty clear that he needs to improve massively this season. Going off of that display, it's going to be very difficult for Martinelli. Like I said, there's a lot of hate circulating around Martinelli at the moment, and I would never be that guy. I would never say, get this guy out of my club, he's useless. But I would be looking at that performance and asking, what did he offer? Did he offer stuff defensively? Maybe. Did he offer us any outlet in an attacking sense? No. Did he pick the right choices? No. There was a moment where he kind of could have peeled a bit wider and maybe played Gyökeres in, but he kind of just got tangled under his own feet, and then at the end it just came to nothing. And that happened a couple of times with Martinelli, and that is a frustration. Where is the end product? It's crazy to me that there were players like Mo Salah, Ekitike, Gakpo, Gyökeres, Martinelli, and the best attacker on the day was Madueke, who there was uproar about with Arsenal bringing in for 50 million. That guy, if he keeps playing like that, he gets into this Arsenal team, probably as the left winger. Now, that was his best performance in an Arsenal shirt, and it was on the right-hand side. But you can see from some of the qualities that Madueke has, that is something we've lacked on the left side. Can you imagine seeing that Madueke performance paired with a Bukayo Saka doing the same thing on the right-hand side, with a Victor Gyökeres, who will get more service once Bukayo Saka and a more creative player is on the pitch? We lacked creativity, not even just in midfield, but the whole way through. It was frustrating at times watching, because although we had a lot of possession at times, and I was thinking, this is comfortable, I was like, where are we going with these attacks? It seemed like I said earlier, we was more willing to go backwards than we was forward, and that needs to change. If you go away, I mean, if the game plan was just leave there with a draw, then Mikel Arteta nearly executed the game plan. I think you need to be going to teams to win. Maybe that's me being foolish, but I think most of you guys would do the same thing. You want to win these types of games, and I feel like it's a massive missed opportunity. I really did feel like Liverpool were there for the taking yesterday. I don't think they was at their best, and if that was their best, then I think they're beatable. there was no better time to beat Liverpool at Anfield than there was yesterday. That first half from Arsenal was as comfortable at Anfield for as long as I can remember. It was a shame that we didn't push or progress that little bit further, be that little bit sharper, a little bit braver in those attacking moments, because like I said, I think they was there for the taking. Liverpool, this season now, will probably only get stronger. At the time of recording, it looks like they're going to sign Guéhi. They've just signed Alexander Isak. Their attack will get stronger. The main point of this Liverpool team for me being vulnerable is that defence. I was thinking before the game, they're playing a centre mid, a centre attacking mid in Szoboszlai at right back. He was man of the match. And it was his moment that decided the game. Like, I never would have imagined that would be the moment. If, like I said, if Mikel Arteta went there for a draw, then he very nearly got it. Because Liverpool would never have scored from open play, if we're being honest. People are out there saying, they've only beat an injury-struck Arsenal B team. And I understand the frustration. And that is an argument that you can put forward. That is valid. We didn't have, in many people's opinion, our best defender, our captain, and probably one of our best midfielders, and our best attacker. So if you strip your best attacker, midfielder, and defender away from any team, then you're going to struggle, especially against the champions. So that's where I'm taking hope and thinking, why is nobody noticing this? Why is nobody noticing that we didn't have our best players and we can still compete with teams like Liverpool? We could never have done that 2-3 seasons ago against the title holders, Man City, Liverpool. Go there without Saka, without our best midfielder, without our best defender, and still come away feeling disappointed. I think there's massive positives to take from this game. A loss is never a positive. But if you're ever going to take a loss, I think it's better to take one against the best team in the league than a mid-table team where you're just thinking, that was frustrating. Why or how have we just lost that game? I never want to lose the game. But if we're ever going to lose, I would rather it be against one of the good teams. And it's kind of like a smash and grab for them. Because like I said, they wasn't attacking. I think it's kind of unfair, some of the criticism being levied at Arsenal. Arsenal didn't attack the game. Arsenal didn't want to win. And it's like, well, did Liverpool want to win then? Because they was never going to score either. Like I said, the best player on the pitch in terms of an attacking sense was an Arsenal player. It was Madueke. None of the Liverpool forward line was playing as good as Madueke. And I don't care what anyone says. No Liverpool attacker on that field was as good as Madueke. I'm not saying he's the best player on the pitch. I'm just saying if anything was going to happen, it would have come from Arsenal. Now, there was a period in the second half for about 10-15 minutes where Liverpool started to get on top. Did Mikel Arteta make his substitutions too late? Again, that's a conversation I'm happy to have. I'm not going to berate the manager and say you're useless for it. But I think Liverpool made the change at the right time. I think they made the change at about the 65th minute. I think that's where Arsenal could have looked to make a change to impact the game sooner because Liverpool was there for the taking. We needed that creativity. For me, it was quite clear to see after the first half, we're playing very well defensively. Liverpool don't look like they're having a sniff. But if we could add more creativity onto this pitch, then they are there for the taking. 60 minutes comes round, I would have been looking at my bench and thinking, Eze, Odegaard, this is where I'm going to make the change. I think it happened a bit too late. You wait for the goal to go in and then you're kind of thinking about changing the players. If you want to be proactive and win the game, I think you make those substitutions a little bit earlier. Now, again, Mikel Arteta might have his reasons for not doing that. Again, we don't like to hear it, but maybe he was happy with the draw and he just wanted that defensive solidity in the defence, in the midfield, to take a point away at Anfield. That is probably, well, it is a brilliant point, no matter what. No matter if we're frustrated that we didn't attack the game and maybe they was there for the taking. If you get a point at Anfield, not Old Trafford, Anfield, then that is a massive point. It didn't happen due to a wonder goal. That's all it was. Like I said, in open play, Liverpool wouldn't have scored. But they got the wonder goal, so then they take the 3 points. So there isn't a discussion to be had around Liverpool because they won the game. If it was a draw, then the conversation would have been, well, this is the two title rivals battling it out. No one wanted to attack the game. No one wanted to open up. They was both happy with the point, and then it would have been over. But because we lost that game, the conversations around Mikel Arteta seem to be heating up. I'm seeing people say, get this manager out of my club. He will never win anything. And I'm thinking, look at the team this guy has assembled. Look at the way we are feeling as fans. Losing at Anfield by 1-0. We're feeling disappointed. That is because of the level of optimism Mikel Arteta has created around this Arsenal Football Club. When we went there with Unai Emery or maybe even Arsene Wenger at the end of his tenure, we would have been struggling away at Anfield. Mikel Arteta has created this environment where we're feeling disappointed leaving Anfield with a point. And that to me is something that I'm thinking a lot of people are missing. Look, in a perfect world, like I said, of course I want to go and win the game. Of course I want us to be braver. But I'm not ready to slate this manager because he lost to a set piece at Anfield. There's still so much of the season to play. And I do think that is a huge loss. But all it takes is Arsenal to win one of their games in the next few weeks and Liverpool drop points all of a sudden. We're square again and then they have to come to the Emirates. This Premier League season is going to be crazy. There will be twists and turns that we're not expecting. Liverpool will drop points at some point. They will look vulnerable. Teams will get on top of them at some point and we'll be thinking, why was we ever panicked? But right now it seems bad because it's just happened. I'm telling you, this Arsenal team is improving. I'm telling you, the strength in depth in this Arsenal squad is crazy. Look at the list of players we didn't have. Jesus, Havertz, Saliba, Odegaard. I can't even remember all the other injuries. You've got Norgard, so many players. Saka, our best player. You've got so many players missing. Don't think because we didn't beat Liverpool that we can't beat Liverpool. Like, we didn't have our best 11 now. And again, it's not sour grapes from me because Liverpool, it's a great win for them. I'm not sitting here and saying Liverpool are lucky, the refs are rubbish, I can't believe they scammed us. I'm saying if we had a full team, it's a different game. That's not my opinion, that's just a fact. If you have miss your three best players positionally, of course, it's going to be a difficult game. So don't be down about this result. Again, perfect world, we would have won. There's huge games coming up. And I think we're going to start see over the season, the strength in depth will shine through. And that's why I think Arsenal are going to win the league this season. Again, Liverpool are going to be strong. They've just signed Isak. They're going to sign Guéhi. I'm telling you, this Arsenal team will not wilt and fall away like Arsenal teams we have seen in previous seasons. I think we are there for the long run. But let me know what you think. What are your thoughts on the game? What did you think about Mikel Arteta's team selection, the tactics? Let me know. Thanks so much to everyone for watching and listening. Before you go, if you could do me a quick favour, just hit like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.